All right, next up, we've talked about the notch filter early on. It's one that I kind of go to frequently to get rid of air conditioning noise. So go ahead and open Sequence 08 notch filter, and we're going to look at what the book has to say about it. So we have our sequence here. If you play through this, you're going to hear a fluorescent light buzzing. So what you can do is after you have this highlighted, you can come over here to effects and you can search for your effect that you need. Notch filter, make sure you choose this first one, not simple. This one's going to give us the most control. Left click, hold, and drag to your clip. Once it's there, you're going to again open the edit button like we've done with several of the others, and we see the blue line where the adjustments are going to happen. This here looks very similar to the parametric equalizer effect. They're similar, however, we don't have, if you look down here, we do not have that Q setting, so we're not controlling how wide these lines are that way. You can come down here under notch width and choose narrow, very narrow, or super narrow. So this is a very extremely acute, more accurate curve. It's going to affect a smaller amount of frequencies. So this is really going to hit very specific frequencies such as 60 or 120, whatever you need to make your fixes. You're not going to get as wide as you were in that last one with the other effect. Alright, so one of the things that you can do is you can play your clip while you're making the adjustments, and you look for where these noises are hitting. So I'm going to play this, and you're going to see me dragging some of these notches down.
I was searching for something. I couldn't say what it was, but suffice to say, I would know when I saw it. I wanted to go to New York, but all that construction. And then, all of a sudden, it found me. I was searching for something. I couldn't say what it was, but suffice to say, I would know when I saw it.
Okay, so visually, as you get better at this, you can see that this was kind of always hitting as like a constant buzzing sound. You'll get to more familiar with reading wavelengths. This number 6 that I pulled down probably isn't doing what I need it to do. Our other ones are going to probably be around 120 and 240 based on what the book said. But as you're listening and playing and making adjustments, you'll notice when you have pulled out enough. One of the things it wants us to do is I'm going to reset the stuff I did. So if you hit Control Z, it actually disappears the whole effect, but that's okay. We can just drag it back on and hit edit. It wants us to use a preset to see if we can get better results. So when you click here, you're going to come and find 60 hertz and you want octaves. So this one right here. Notice that these have already made some adjustments from where the default was. The other thing it wants us to do is enable our buttons so we can turn off several of these here. So let's see. Alright, so by clicking the numbers, you can turn them on and off. And it wants us to leave 1, 2, and 3 on and turn off 4, 5, and 6. These 3 being pulled down the way they are should give you a better result as you play through this. So you can play the sequence again and see how this is affecting it. At this point, once you have all these settings done, you can go ahead and close this panel. It will save your work just like the other ones have. One of the other side notes is if you do get into Adobe Audition, how these things are applied works a little bit different. Like you basically have a launch menu and you put the effects on, you make your adjustments, but then you have to do like an apply button. So The premise of how these tools work is going to be the same as far as, dragging the notches down, or in some of the other tools, they're going to work the same way with the hard limiter. However, how it actually takes effect to your clip is a little bit different. So if you dig into that software, that was a nice little side note for that one. One other thing is, in the past, when we had this clip and we were in the Essential Sound, we had the option of dehum, and that would have probably given us a similar result as the notch filter. The only thing is that was the quick and fast one to get us close, and it might not have been the results that we exactly wanted. So this notch filter, as I mentioned, it has a very narrow selection of hertz when it's affecting that area. It's going to have more advanced controls than the dehum that was in the Essential Sound. So Essential Sound does a lot of stuff faster and gets you there or close to there quicker, but sometimes you need more control. So if the Essential Sound option with the dehum didn't work, this notch filter that we just checked out would be the next place to go to get that fixed.